Some nights the crowd leans in real close, hanging on to every lyric. Other nights, you could play Bohemian Rhapsody with your hair on fire, and the room wouldn't even flinch. That's show business. And this is Ivories After Dark. And I'm Jack Rivers bringing you another segment of 88 Keys in the Truth. We're talking about the rooms that teach you. You see, some rooms feed you, some rooms test you. And here's the secret. Both rooms teach you. If the rooms are the church, then our lyrics is the Psalms. And the music, the chords, is the gospel. And the quiet in between, that's where God listens. Sometimes you got to set your mind, because the mental game, well, that's the battlefield before the show. You're carrying heartbreak in one pocket and overdue bills in the other, but you're supposed to walk in cool as Sinatra. And that takes a certain kind of crazy, the artist kind. Winding up those chords and unrolling, like that's the therapy. That's getting your mind set. Sometimes I walk into a venue with a headspace that should probably come with a warning label. But then the second I sit down and hit those keys, again, it becomes like church, even if the congregation is a little tipsy. And like I said, the trick isn't to find your peace before you play, although I've tried. That's right. Load in is where your headspace is just trying to focus, feel the room, hear the room. But I've played pianos that were in better shape than my personal life. But the show starts at 6 either way. So we're going to talk about the two sanctuaries. One's called the dead room. You know this room. You walk onto stage, you can even feel the air almost tell you, good luck, pal. That's the dead room. Whew. You hit that first note, and it dies naturally before the second. You ever play to a room so quiet you can hear your own regrets harmonizing? I have. Those are tough rooms. Those are the rooms that you learn what you're made of. You can't fake it there, can you? No, sir, there's no faking that. There's no smoke. There's no lights. Just wood, wire, and whether or not your heart still means it. Tests your passion, doesn't it? Am I doing this for the applause? Or am I doing this because I love it? If the room's dead, play like you're at the funeral. But just make sure the corpse starts tapping a foot. Most artists can quit in the quiet rooms. That's the potential. Not because they lack talent or anything, but because the silence scares the shit out of them more than the failure, right? But the dead room doesn't lie. It will never lie to you. It shows you every weakness and dares you to keep playing anyway. That's right. Then there's the second sanctuary. Like I said, I've had the fortunate blessing to play in both. But this is the electric room. The nights where the lightning shows up and you hit that first chord and boom, the crowd erupts like they've been waiting their whole lives for this sermon. Packed from wall to wall, tighter than a Sunday sermon in Vegas. Had that experience recently over the weekend. First song I jumped into of the set, and they did not sit down again. They sang, they clapped. For 3 hours, that room was pure oxygen. That's the electric room. When a small town crowd sings with you, it's not some, little hole in the wall over in Michigan here or there or wherever you're playing. Man, it feels like Broadway with beer specials. The loudest cheers come from the night after you almost quit. The universe has a sick timing like that, you know? I needed the weekend that I just had, believe me. And I wasn't expecting it. But those electric nights remind you that gratitude, it isn't a cliche. It's the high voltage charge that keeps you from rusting inside. And then there is the balancing act. Because both rooms are necessary, aren't they? One humbles you. One lifts you. Too much of either, and you lose your center. If every room was electric, if every room carried the lightning, you'd start believing your own press. If every room was dead, you'd start drinking your own tears. But dead or alive, every crowd is a mirror. Don't fall in love with the reflection. You just make sure it's telling the truth. See, one room starves your ego, and the other room feeds it till it needs its own dressing room. Then if you're not careful, you'll end up bipolar with a tip jar. See, social media is raising a new generation of artists who only know the electric room. Well, just wait till they meet silence. It's going to feel like Judgment Day. But the old souls, we learn to build our own current. Doesn't matter if 10 people show up. You play like 10,000 are listening behind the curtain. That's right. So what's the takeaway? The quiet rooms, they teach you honesty. And the loud ones, well, they teach gratitude. And somewhere between the applause and the echo of the last note, you figure out who you really are. Play honest. Play grateful. Don't chase the reaction. Listen carefully. Very carefully. And chase the truth. And tonight I want to do something a little special. And I'm going to give you a drink recipe. Maybe you can pour yourself something honest. And it comes with 2 ounces of patience, 1 ounce of bourbon, a splash of bitters, and a twist of humility. Stir slow. Sip it slower. Because whether the crowd's roaring or checking their phones, remember, you're still the one behind the instrument. And that, my friends, is all the power you'll ever need. So, keep your notes clean. Keep your verses and your chorus true. Thanks for pulling up a chair. This has been Ivories After Dark. And I've been your host, your piano preacher man for tonight's show, Jack Rivers, saying thanks again for stopping in.